Welcome to another AMA with Kadena Project Network. In this episode, we'll be speaking with the team from KOR Blockchain Mining. This conversation was recorded on July 6, 2022, live on Twitter Spaces. The views and expressions in this AMA do not represent the views of KPN directly and are not to be considered as financial advice. Please make sure to do your own research on the projects presented. Also, make sure to follow our account to be alerted of new uploads. Now let's get started. Enjoy. Hey, there we go. Yeah, I can hear you now. Awesome.
Yeah, man, I was trying to do it through my PC rather than my phone, so.
Yeah, I wish they would come up with a way to do it on PC. I would much rather use my good microphone and stuff for this, but it is what it is. How you doing?
Welcome. Doing pretty good, man. How you doing?
Doing great. Great. Welcome to have you here. Happy to have you doing an AMA with us.
Yes, sir. So sorry to cut you off there, but yeah, pretty exciting because this is actually the second time I've been able to come out and talk about KOR. So I believe the first time we did it was with Son of a Tech. It was a YouTube interview. So just starting to actually get out and be able to talk about the project's awesome. So
yeah, it can be lots of fun too, these spaces usually, just and get to know each other and get to know all the different people in the community. It'll be a lot of fun. Speaking of which, why don't you just give us a quick introduction about yourself and what KOR is, and the quick, like I call it, the 30-second elevator pitch, but of course it's probably going to take longer than 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'll try to make it 30 seconds here. So yeah, I'm the founder of KOR, and basically I'm just a recent college grad. Chase Valiant, by the way, sorry, because I am under the KOR Blockchain Twitter. So I'm a recent college grad with a degree in chemistry, actually. And really just a crypto enthusiast for about 3 years now, which actually led me to the creation of KOR. So I actually seeked out an investor as far as the funding for all the miners and everything went. And yeah, that's kind of how KOR started. So KOR Blockchain actually is the world's first mining service on Web3. And what that regards is basically you go in, you buy a miner, specific hash rate, and you actually get minted an NFT for that hash rate. And basically the rewards for that hash rate get dropped to whatever wallet that is holding that NFT. So what that actually means is you're allowed to sell your contract on OpenSea or any other NFT marketplace. It's going to be obviously different once we build over here on Kadena, but currently it is OpenSea because we are on EVM. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And as far as the team goes, like I said, I'm the founder, and then we have Benjamin Adamson. He's the CTO, and we actually do have two different developers. We have our EVM developer, Richard Wilson, and then we just hired our guy Saiju over in Australia. He's going to be our pack developer. So as you guys know, it's kind of tough finding pack developers now because Kadena is so new. So so that being said, we're glad to have him, and then also we have our construction and maintenance guy Carlos over at our main facility. So that's kind of the introduction into KOR and kind of what we are. And I'm sure as we go along here, we'll be able to answer any other questions that you guys have.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love the whole idea of just having a mining factory. When I first got into crypto I got into crypto about 4 years ago, but one of the first coins I got into was a coin called Digibyte, and they recently added a layer, an assets layer onto their thing. And one of the first projects I got involved with was one of the devs opened a mining farm, and they recently added FGPU or FGPS, whatever the small little miner boards are. Yep. They added that kind of algorithm for Digibyte, so he was mining with that, and you could buy an asset, and each asset covered a certain portion of the mining shares, which I thought was really cool. I was like, well, I don't have the electricity, I don't have the miners, I don't have all the equipment to mine, but this was another way for people to get involved. So hearing that that's what you guys do, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, man, that's the goal we wanted to bring, because I mean it's so easy to just plug these in, and I think it's the easiest form of passive income that exists currently. So I almost felt guilty. It's like I kind of needed to help bring this out to the public, and obviously what better place to do it than Web3. So, and that's cool that you say the Digibyte and everything, because that was actually one of the first things that we were looking at mining. So we actually chose Decred. And then after Decred, we chose Kadena, and then we actually started mining Kadena around $1. And then and next thing you know, it's like $25. It's like, okay, yeah, we want more of this. So So and obviously we're extremely bullish on Kadena as a whole. So that was great.
Awesome. So right now, you guys, I was looking through your website and like your different phases, kind of like your roadmap. You guys are finished with phase 1 at this point then?
Yep, we're finished with phase 1. Correct.
Awesome.
We actually have 62 miners currently.
Oh, wow. So what kind of, when you say you have them in a facility, I'm assuming this would be just like a warehouse type building and everything like that. What is the building ran like? Is it ran off of solar power, anything like that? Because I know like being part of Kadena that, you know, being somewhat green is kind of a big push kind of thing.
Yeah, so currently we are actually not on solar right now, but we are literally just about to purchase our solar system for our next facility. So currently we're running regular over there. But yeah, that is something that we really want to emphasize. Not only is it, you know, beneficial for the environment, but it does help us out. And that will actually get inflicted into in our service fee. So if we can actually make the cost cheaper for us, then we can also make the cost cheaper for you guys. So and I can kind of mention that now. So currently it was 33% of the total amount of coins mined, but due to that and actually a couple other cool things with our immersion cooling coming, we're actually going to drop our service fee by 10%. So that will come out to around 20 to 25% of the total amount mined instead of 33. So doing things like solar and the immersion cooling do allow for this to happen. So
for sure, as you guys bring down your costs, the amount that you need to take from the pool to cover those costs, of course, lowers, which gets passed on to the investor. That's basic, very basic, and I think most people can understand that.
Yeah.
So basically, when you're already mining and paying out on the Ethereum blockchain and places like that. So when it comes to setting up on Kadena, how deep are you guys into that? I know, like you just said, you recently hired your pack dev, which even for pack devs, it's not like there's going to be any experienced pack devs really out there. Like most of these people are devs that come from other protocols and are learning packed as they go, kind of thing. Because we're in the same kind of space with some of the projects that we've also been a part with.
Correct.
And yeah, it's quite the learning experience. But like when it comes to that, whereabouts are you guys looking at? Like phase 2, do you have a time frame you're thinking, like a certain quarter you're aiming for?
Yeah, so I think we'll be done by the end of Q3, which we obviously just started Q3 here. So we actually are going to break ground on Monday. So this next Monday here on the code and everything. And I really wanted there to be a NFT marketplace fully in place, so people actually have the liquidity to, you know, buy and sell their contracts if they choose that they want to get out of it. But we're gonna go ahead and just get going, and go ahead and just like get the NFTs made, get the rewards sent out. So then when the NFT marketplace does come out, which I'm sure you're better on the lines of that and understanding when that's going to be, but then people can actually, you know, buy or sell their contracts on that NFT marketplace. So yeah, we're ready to go like next Monday. So it's pretty exciting. So yeah, it is going to be a work in progress for sure, because our developer actually came from EVM, really good, really talented guy. But yeah, there is a little bit of legwork to be done in that sense. But luckily, Pact is from what I've read and understand, is going to be very easy for these EVM devs to pick up on that. So
yeah, it sounds like you guys have a good solid plan laid out in front of you. I notice also that along with phase 2 becomes the public sale. Mm-hmm. So are you, like, when you say that there's going to be if there's no marketplace yet or anything available, are you guys going to be doing like do you mint right from your website kind of thing, the NFT?
So I'm glad you say that. So phase 2 is pretty much all done. So the public sale actually already happened on EVM. So you can actually buy right now a Kadena miner on EVM. So if you're on our DApp right now, you'd click on like mining, and then you go to choose my miner, and then you can see that we have 14 KD5s that are plugged in right now, ready to sell. So so you can mint the NFTs. You can mint down to a fourth of the miner and everything. So the public sale is actually already happening, but we started noticing too that people were having issues with being paid out in USDC. Now, obviously, I'm sure you know that there's no Kadena liquidity that exists on EVM currently. So it's what we had to do. And people think we're trying to, keep the Kadena that's mined and everything. And it's like, no, there's just no liquidity for Kadena yet on EVM. So that's why we had to do USDC. And then that obviously opened our vision that, we need to build on Kadena now. If we want to get our service going, we need to be able to pay people out in KDA. So the public sale has already happened. And then, within the next 1 to 2 months, depending on how long a developer does take to make the NFTs and get all the contracts forked over, then we will have that public sale. And then as far as whitelisting or any of that stuff, we're just first come first serve when it comes to that. So
it's just an open public sale. There's no whitelist, no nothing. It's just
nothing. Nope.
First come first serve.
First come first serve. And
I love hearing that, because nowadays it seems like the whole NFT community is based on jumping through all of these hoops just for a chance, and it's like, you put the amount of people you push away when you do that is not really worth it, in my opinion.
Exactly, man. There's people with, full jobs that can't get on Discord and, grind for a whitelist. So I've always been first come, first serve. So we didn't want to alleviate anybody that from our service from, having the whitelist or anything like that. So, and then kind of leading into the next thing. So we actually went from doing down to a fourth of the miner to now doing truly hash rate. So when we build on Kadena, we'll actually be able to have a slider for your NFT that you could choose. So you can mint from 1 terahash all the way up to 100 terahash per NFT. So currently on EVM, it's down to a fourth of the miner, because we had to watch for gas costs. I mean, if we have like 300 NFTs, all 1 terahash on EVM, that'll be very expensive to pay out once our 2-week pay period came. So we really wanted to be able to bring down this barrier to enter. We noticed that not many people were wanting to join because there was such a big barrier to enter, and we did not want that. So that's why we moved towards really, really being able to bring down the hash rate and allow for more people to enter crypto mining. So
yeah, I like that idea of it being based on the hash and not a percentage of a miner. That's going to be a lot more easier to manage. Like you said, I couldn't imagine what the fees would have been on Ethereum, like you said, if it was all everyone with 1 terahash and there's 300 of these freaking NFTs. It would have been, you'd have been losing money every 2 weeks just in.
Yeah, man, we would have to increase our service fee to 50% or something crazy to account for all the gas.
Yeah, and it's not going to get any better either for Ethereum when it comes to fees and stuff. So Kadena's too is great, because you could utilize, if you even wanted to, you could utilize gas stations. So to even cover even more costs.
Yeah.
Or set up or even have it so that the part of the mining costs go to setting up your own gas station and run it yourself.
And the cool thing too is we've actually set a maximum threshold on the NFTs on Kadena to be up to 100 terahash. So that means with KOR, you could actually mint the strongest Kadena miner in theory right now. So you have the KD Max that's pushing around 40 terahash before it's overclocked and everything. So that means you can come into our website and actually get a miner that's double a KD Max and not have to worry about anything. So we thought that was pretty cool. We do want to set a limit, though, on that, because we don't want somebody coming and just snagging our whole entire farm. So we have thought about doing maximum NFTs per wallet, or maximum terahash per wallet, or something along the lines of that. So
yeah, one thing I noticed with NFTs, I'm trying to make a limit when it comes to say at 5 per wallet or whatever per wallet, is that being a thing that where anyone can just whip up a wallet in a minute.
Yeah,
people
exactly.
will just have a dozen wallets, but there's not much you can do about that.
Yeah, we've thought about that too. So but at least it makes it a little bit more friction, a little bit more tough than just clicking 2 buttons and then our whole farm sold to one person. So
yeah, because like you said too, just curious as to cost wise, even with the prices way down right now, would it cost less for someone to buy 100 terahash through you than to buy the miners it would take to compensate that and run them themselves?
So yeah,
would it cost way less?
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, so we're still finalizing our prices on that, but obviously the premium would be just buying 1 terahash, and we've said for every terahash increase you have, you get cheaper per terahash. So I know some other competing projects are around per terahash around $2,000, and I do want to come out and say that we will be a lot cheaper than that, and we will be obviously doing the discounts as the terahash increases for our NFTs. So that's just what we've seen, but yeah.
And how much right now does one of those miners cost that you're running to buy?
So we found the cheapest. So this would probably be the best deal if you were to buy like a K1 Plus, and K1 Plus right now, obviously because it's the bottom, are very cheap, and they're $7,000 for 15 terahash. So about so they're pretty cheap, but I don't see that market lasting forever. I do see within this next year that we'll get some good movement, and those miner prices will be a little bit more expensive. So obviously, the classic, buy low, sell high type of deal. So I think this is the perfect time for people to be getting into mining. So,
oh, for sure, definitely. It's kind of funny it's weird when the price will start to go up, more miners will come over, but it's like, why don't more miners come over when the price is low? And
man,
it doesn't really matter because your mine, no matter either way, you're still gonna, like, the rewards are the rewards. It's not based in the fiat value at all.
Exactly.
Fiat value doesn't matter to mining at all, really, when you think about it. But it's just funny that the backwards mentality that the public has with crypto, right? The whole buy at the highest price, and no one wants to buy when it's at low. Like, people, line up to buy Bitcoin at 60,000, but no one wants to buy it at 20.
Exactly.
And it's like,
yeah, I'm sure we'll see our NFT sales go way up during the bull market, which is exactly the opposite of what it should be. But yeah, but I guess that is the beautiful thing too about crypto mining is, you can buy a miner in the bull market and then go through a whole bear cycle, stack your coins. The longer it takes, the more coins you're stacking up. So I think that's oftentimes the misconception that people don't take into account, that the longer this thing stays down, the more coins we're stacking, and then you keep the coins as Kadena, and then when Kadena does run up back to $25, you just 25x all the coins you just mined. So that is the beautiful thing about the miners. And I even said in a couple of our videos, leave the trading to the traders, man, and basically able to make money during a bear market with mining. So I think it's a great way for people to make passive income, because everybody wants to guess the market, but trading is a real strategy, and trading is a real risky thing. So yeah.
For sure. I'd rather throw a couple grand into a guaranteed passive income than, taking a bet and buying a coin and hoping that it 100 times or doesn't just rug pull and disappear with all my money.
Exactly. And also too, I mean, you do have the equity in the miner as well. So that's why I love that these are as NFTs now, and you're able to sell them on an NFT marketplace, because after you hit your ROI and counting, you're like, all right, well, I think I've done crypto mining. And then you can go on OpenSea, or obviously on the NFT marketplace here in Kadena, and sell your miner and get the equity for your miner again. So that is a beautiful thing that people often overlook too, as well, is your actual equity in your miner that you can sell back.
For sure, and especially with your NFTs, it definitely depends on, with NFTs you get floor price becomes the thing, and the more people find out about KOR and want to get involved with this, it's just going to cause your floor price as well to just go up as well.
Exactly.
So even all the people that are getting, buying one now, mining for, however bunch of months, and then they see the floor price rise way up on what they bought, they can get their money back, even like double their money there, triple their money there, and still have all the rewards as well.
100%, man.
Definitely win-win.
Obviously, to the contrary, you have like the traditional cloud mining models that, you're buying Bitcoin hash rate, and once you buy, you're locked into that contract. There's no exit. No matter what the market does, no matter this or that, you're locked in for that fixed amount of time with that contract. And that's the beautiful thing about actually owning your contract. This is why we love NFTs. It's digital receipt of like ownership. So you're actually allowed to sell and do whatever you choose with that.
Yeah, I get way more excited about NFT projects that are more about the utility than just, hey, look at this fancy picture and we'll build utility later. Like,
yeah. Very
oversaturated
that is. Yeah.
Yeah, the moment I learned about NFTs and started looking into what they were actually capable of, I was like, why does everyone care about pictures of apes? I'm like, that's pointless. I'm like, that all that is publicity to make a bunch of other people some money. I'm like, that's just the same system being using NFTs to run a new kind of scam almost. I'm like, there's so much utility behind this technology. And like I always said, the top use cases I always saw were things like for medical records, so that people could own their own medical records and have them secured in their own like documents and stuff.
DocuShield, right? There you go.
Yeah, DocuShield is building that. But the main case I thought that a company should do was Ticketmaster. This was the first thing I learned about when I learned about NFTs. Was someone pitched me this idea was, if Ticketmaster was to switch over and use an NFT system for their tickets, because most tickets nowadays are either paperless, people use the app on their phone, stuff like that. Make it and then make all their tickets NFTs. That would get rid of scalping. They'd be able to control their NFTs, and like, if someone decides that they want it, they would tries to resell it, they would burn or something like that. They could have that set in contract, and people wouldn't even know that that's what they're using.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's cool to see people thinking outside of the box of just, buy my 10,000 computer generated pictures.
Yeah.
Which is getting to the point now where, okay, people need to start coming up with some fresh ideas here.
Yeah.
So
well, I love seeing and that's people why I think utilizing it. I think me personally, I think the next kind of how we had an NFT drop and almost I would say an NFT purge. I do feel like all those projects are the ones that get wiped out, and the ones with utility are the ones that end up standing. So that's why I love the AMA you guys did with DNA. So I'm a huge fan of kind of what they're doing over there as far as like tokenizing real world items. So
yeah, there's just so much use case. It's ridiculous, and so we're so early in it too. It's like you were saying, there's going to become a purge where unless you have some real world use case, you're just going to be pushed aside at some point. And the same thing is going to happen eventually with crypto too. A lot of things, like a lot of these proof of stake and other coins and stuff, will just get pushed. Very centralized coins will eventually just get pushed to the side, because people are going to realize, that decentralization and proof of work and stuff like that is the way to go.
Yep. I think that's the biggest thing why like crypto and Bitcoin was made is decentralization. I think that's like in the trilemma. I think obviously you need scalability and security and everything, but I think decentralization is like the main one. And obviously with proof of stake networks and all these very, very small amount of nodes, it becomes very, very centralized. So that is the beautiful thing, especially now with even our business here, is everybody can mine, everybody can mine, everybody can own an NFT, and let's decentralize this thing. So without obviously giving up security or scalability.
I know when I first got into crypto and stuff and looked into mining, the only thing that stopped me was electric costs, really.
Correct.
Like, I would be willing to put the money into, buying the miners themselves, or building buying a whole whack of GPUs and building a farm myself. It was just the whole, like, how much coins you could possibly mine versus how much it costs you to run all this stuff never worked out unless you go 100%. Big. It's almost like farming nowadays. Like, unless you can't have a small little hobby farm or anything and make money with it, it's either you have a big cash crop farm that's worth millions of dollars, or it's nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%. So I'm actually glad you mentioned electricity, because I can kind of throw this fact out there right now. So even with our 33% fee, and if anybody in here didn't hear before, that we will be changing that down to around 10%. So expect 20 to 25% for our service fee. That does include stuff like electricity and maintenance and all that. So if you go into what to mine right now, you can see the profits on a KD6, okay, or a KD5. Currently, it is cheaper to mine with KOR with our 33% fee than it is to mine yourself and pay the electricity yourself. Obviously, when mining the Kadena starts doing better and the daily profits go up, then this will obviously not be a fact anymore. But it does still show some sort of validity for our service and why we charge this fee. So I think that's a pretty cool fact that I wanted to share there.
Yeah, and most people, like, a lot of people that are in the NFTs are either students or, like, I'm pushing 40, so I'm not exactly a student, but another thing that's keeping people from it is having the space, having a place. But everyone has a cell phone, everyone
Yep.
has a wallet. Like, that's all you need to get involved with mining through you guys, to get involved with passive income, and it's just such an easy way to get into it. And I'm sure from there, if your interest does grow, maybe people will eventually, well, maybe I'll buy a miner and try this myself, once the prices go up and it offsets itself a little bit more.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I think everything I've heard so far is just amazing. And I'm looking forward to you guys actually being able to do KDA as an actual output and everything. But like you said, a lot of things are waiting on the community to build other things, like an NFT marketplace and stuff like that, which is, from what I understand, is fairly close. We're hoping in the next couple of months or two. But
yeah, I think it'll all time up perfect, man. So
yeah, for sure, it'll be different now when you buy. Just speaking on the art side of NFTs, if you can call it that. Are you guys going to have a different thing for if you mine, like, or if you, when you port over? So if I was to buy one right now on, like, OpenSea or something like that, when you guys do, like, have a Kadena and port those NFTs over, will there be a different? Will you just be, like, pretty much, airdropping them to people, like replacing them?
Yeah, we would do that, and we will change the art though. That is something that we wanted to do. So we're gonna do some, like, cool 3D moving stuff. So I don't want to fully leak all that stuff yet, but it is gonna look a little bit cooler than the traditional ones that we have on EVM. And the reason why we did that on EVM is because you were buying, like, a quarter of a miner, half a miner, So we wanted people to know that they own the miner. We didn't necessarily want to have some, like, picture of this or a picture of that. So with it being hash rate now, truly, then we can start going into the more art stuff and the more cool looking stuff. So that is what it will be unpacked. And depending on what we end up selling on the actual EVM before we merge over, we'll probably end up just taking all the Kadena miners and taking them off of EVM and just selling them over on Kadena. Because I would feel bad for somebody to not just make an X wallet. It's the same thing as MetaMask, and be able to participate on Kadena rather than on EVM getting paid out in USDC. So
yeah, it kind of somewhat, I want to say, somewhat defeats the purpose. Like, people are wanting Kadena, like, they're kind of getting into it to mine Kadena. They want to get Kadena, but, like, I understand right now the limitations. You got to do what you got to do. At least you're still buying something that's paying out. And when you do finally set up Kadena, you don't have to. If you own one now, you don't have to do anything. You'll just flip over and you'll get your Kadena.
Yep. So, and our private sale we did before we came on Web3, actually. So we have about 10 members that are actually Kadena mining with us, and because we're not doing it through Web3 and EVM, we actually just send the profits to their Zelcore wallet. So we are currently paying out people in KDA that are using us for the private service, or the private sale. My apologies. So we are doing that, and like I said, I did want to mention that because I do want people to know that we truly are in that in your best benefit with giving you rewards in KDA.
So the private sale people were the ones that pretty much were the original funders of the project, and were the ones
yeah,
that
you
funded
can
for the
say
original
so. You can say
50
so.
miners.
So correct. Yep.
Well, got to start somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah, it was more of more of a community thing in our area, and kind of some stuff we're promoting to friends and family. So that's how we started off, because we want proof of concept before we came out to the public. We want to make sure we can do this and run this business correctly before we go out and build all this stuff. So, and I know that's oftentimes in space, everybody just markets before they build, and that is what we pride ourselves at KOR, is the fact that we build before we market. So we love the fact that
right out of the door with a product.
Yes, sir.
That's what you need to do.
Yes, sir.
You got
just because it happens so much in the crypto space, man. You know, it's everybody over here promising, and then you have everybody buying into this idea, and then you just get rugged. So, unfortunately for those people,
I've been part of the before I came over to Kadena, I was actually part of the Elron NFT community, and still kind of am. And there's so many projects that you see with such big ideas and all these great plans for their NFTs to be in these metaverse games and all this stuff. And I'm like, you guys are promising things for things that aren't even built yet. I'm like, and people are throwing, tens of thousands of dollars at these projects. And then a couple months later, next thing you know, hey, where'd their Discord go? Hey, their Twitter's gone. Hey, the wallets have been all emptied. What's going on here?
Yes, stuff ain't cheap either, on ETH. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of good to see someone actually coming to the table. Hey, we have a product. How about investing in this? For sure. I'd be much more comfortable knowing that there actually is a building with a bunch of miners running in it. That's pretty cool. It's not just a bunch of promises on a white paper.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, I'm can't wait to hear even more about you guys and see when it comes in. I think I might be looking into buying a couple because the Digibyte one I mentioned earlier has shut down because of the fact that someone built an ASIC pretty much for that, what was supposed to be a non-ASIC type protocol.
Okay.
So that ended up killing pretty much any other mining. He just took over the chain by a lot. So because it was what was it called, FPGA miners. It was kind of like CPU mining, but even smaller, like almost like Raspberry Pi size miners.
Oh yeah.
It was supposed to open it up for more people to be easily able to mine. And then eventually someone figured out how to build an ASIC machine for it, and just that was that.
Yeah. So
yeah, I know I'm definitely going to be looking into getting into this for sure, because right now one of the problems I also have with Kadena is on-ramping. There's not a lot of easy ways for people to buy Kadena right now. Like, unless you want to go through actual exchanges. I do not like exchanges with order books and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and trading wallets, different wallets. It's just so many steps for the average person that they're just gonna be like, screw this,
Yeah, so you're just like the traditional DEX, like Uniswap or something, or
even that. Like right now, pretty much I've just been buying it on because my plan is to not sell any of it. I'm just accumulating right now. I'm definitely a DCA all the way kind of investor. That's the safest way to go. Don't invest anything more than you're willing to lose, and just buy every day. So right now it's just been pretty much stacking it up in my crypto.com account, which is the only easy place right now to get it. But the only problem with that is they don't have withdrawals to your own wallet yet.
Exactly.
So you're kind of stuck with just having it sit there, which is fine with me, as long as because at some point, hopefully they will allow withdrawals and I'll be able to take it out, because I cannot stand having any money that's not in my own personal wallets. That's something that from day one I got into crypto, I've been very much a not your keys, not your coins kind of person.
Yep. So what are your price predictions on Kadena here?
It depends. The way they've been building and pushing very hard lately from the core team. If a lot of things go right and people take notice of what they're building, and we can get a couple of really good solid NFT projects going, marketplaces, dexes, things like that rolled out, I can see even in a bear run us taking back up to at least, maybe not back up to 25, but up to at least 10, 15.
For sure.
Like
I'm sure you saw the stat, but it was if this was taken off of the market cap of Ethereum a little bit before the drop, I would say about like 3-4 months ago. But at that market cap, I mean, Kadena was Kadena was looking at $2,000 per coin. So I mean, that's very, very far in the future. I would say, like, I don't know. We'll just throw out 5 years. Just a rough estimate. Could be sooner than that. Could be longer than that. But yeah, I think that's pretty phenomenal. So people don't understand the technology that Kadena has as a whole with the low market cap. That's what people I feel like are failing to understand. And once they do, I do feel like it'll be too late. We'll already be running off to the races. So
for sure, it's definitely going to take something to get this market going back again and back towards the green. And when it does, Kadena is just going to take off like a rocket, like a rocket, I believe. But and hopefully a lot of these projects, when people get in early to them, will be good. Like if you get in right now and buy a bunch of mining power through you guys, that would be quite good for someone in the future. You're already sitting on a nice little pile, and if the price, then who knows? You guys, we open up a Kadena marketplace, and people start putting up their core shares in mining up on there, and who knows what you're looking at there for floor prices.
Yep. We've definitely thought of some things like that in the future, but yeah, right now we're focusing obviously the mining, making the UI as transparent as possible for the customers and everything, and then we'll definitely get into some cool stuff a little later on.
Awesome. Well, is there any other like crazy alpha stuff that you haven't told us, or that you can share with us about maybe the new building or?
Yeah. So that's actually the last thing I had on the kind of announcements I wanted to talk about. So that new facility will be built by, I would say, end of Q3, beginning of Q4, and it will have solar on it, and we'll have our immersion tanks as well. And this is also why that we can lower our fees, because we're able to overclock the miners. So overclocking, for anybody that doesn't know, is allowing the miner to run harder than factory specifications. And you can do that because they're an immersion tank. So by making them run harder, they obviously get hotter, and you have to be able to dissipate that heat. So being an immersion cooling tanks allows this to happen. So we'll have overclocking going on in there, and the facility will have power to run 450 miners. So that'll be our next spot for however long it takes to fill up that. So that is obviously undetermined, and we just continue to think about scaling. So once that's filled up, on to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next one. So we hopefully want to be a hub to be able to mine. That's the end goal. Be a hub to mine any single coin on any single network at the end of the day. So once Kadena liquidity does get to exist on EVM, we might open that back up for people that do like EVM, want their profits on EVM, don't want to have to bridge over. So that's our end goal. So that's kind of the last thing I wanted to end with there.
Now I see one more thing on your phase 2, along with the building, will be credit and debit card integration. Is that still in the works, so people, instead of being able to have to buy with, Ethereum or something like that, might be able to buy one of these NFTs just with using their credit card?
Yep. So that was going to be after we build on Kadena, we're going to start leading that way. So that way we can knock it all at once. I would probably just have our EVM developer doing it on EVM at the same time as our pack developers doing it on Kadena. So that way we can just have that fully functional on all the chains that we're on.
Awesome. Now, something I was just thinking about with these buildings that you're building. Do you guys own a large portion of land somewhere that you're doing this?
Yep, we do. So.
Okay, I was just making sure. So all these buildings are in in one spot. They're not like buying a building over here and buying a building over there kind of thing.
So actually, we'll have two different locations. So, yeah.
Maybe on the
pretty close by each other though. It's not like we have to go, drive 2 hours, 3 hours away. So.
Do you have any footage of these buildings? It'd be kind of neat to see. Because I know a lot of people like to see mining setups and mining.
Yeah. Especially
immersion ones.
Yes, sir. So actually all this stuff's on our Twitter, and there's actually a cool company story I did that you can go on our Twitter, and it shows you all the pictures from when we started as a home mining operation, and then the first facility, and then kind of how we built and everything. So immersion tanks we actually just ordered. So our first one will get here within probably about 2 to 3 weeks. So the second those get in, I will do some footage on that. But yeah, we have a bunch of cool footage of our facilities on our socials already. So if anybody is wondering and does want to see that, because I do understand that makes people a lot comfortable with investing. So yeah, feel free to check that out. We got all that cool stuff.
Yeah, some people just like seeing it because a lot of people don't understand what all is involved in a mining farm. Like it's not just, you know, a bunch of these stacked up fans sitting in a closet like you see pictures on Google.
Yeah, we actually it's a lot more difficult than people think. We actually have to have 3-phase power put into to our facility so we can run the pumps that pump the immersion cooling fluid around in the tank where the miners are at. So it has to run on three phase. So we're actually having to get that installed. So a lot more than people understand. So that is why we wanted to bring this service here.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know I've only ever seen one immersion setup before, and I was just like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
Oh, we're gonna the amount of work and time that goes into that.
Yeah, we're gonna deck it out. We're gonna throw for our Kadena tanks. We're gonna throw and hopefully nobody steals this idea because I want to be the first one to to do it. But we're gonna throw on the Kadena tanks purple and pink LEDs all under it. It's just gonna look really sick. So in the fluid, you know, so you'll be looking like a purple tank.
Yeah, definitely need to see some videos of that. That would be very cool to see. Awesome. Well, I think that this has been an amazing talk. I know I've learned a lot more than what I've learned just from going through the website. But
yes,
for one, this is going to be such a big project, I think, for people once. It seems like you guys don't really have a huge, I expected to see, 10K followers on Twitter and all this kind of stuff for what you're doing. Like this should be a project that has a huge following and people beating down your door. Like you should be completely sold out right now and blah, 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 people beating on your door. So I know I, for one, am going to be pushing this a lot, pushing people towards you guys, because this is definitely a service that a lot of people could both benefit from and should be supporting for sure.
Yeah, man, really appreciate that for real. We've always noticed that too, that there's a lot of other projects getting attention, and it is easy to look at that and get sort of I wouldn't say jealous, but kind of look at that and why aren't we growing? We're doing everything. So so it is good that you noticed that too. I really appreciate that. But we're just gonna trust the process, continue to keep building and everything, and I do feel like all that stuff does follow after. So.
Well, it also seems that you're going like we are with Kadena, more of the grassroots way of not going out and paying for a bunch of influencers or media posts and all that kind of stuff, and just letting the community come to you and building a true community of people who actually care about the project and aren't just in it for the quick flip or the quick buck or whatever. That's a lot of people go into projects and that's all they're thinking about. They're not thinking about, oh, this could be something that's benefiting me for the next few years,
Yep. 100%, man.
For sure. Well, thank you very much. Actually, this has been amazing talking. We were more than happy to help promote you guys in any way. So if you guys ever need any help with that, reach right out. We will definitely share tweets, Medium articles, anything you want to help with. We
awesome,
have
man.
a team over here to help you with that.
Yeah, appreciate it so much, man. You guys are killing it too. You guys are helping. You guys are literally a part of bringing up Kadena as a whole, and looking back on it, you guys are going to be the top page when Kadena is the next EVM and everything. So I think that's gonna be awesome that we were a part of this from the jump. So it truly is in the community. So appreciate that, man.
Awesome. Well, if anyone in the chat wants to, or chat, I should say, in the space wants to ask any questions, feel free to send in a request. We'll give it a few minutes here just to see if anyone has anything to say. But yeah, no, just absolutely awesome idea and core plan.
No pun intended.
Never even thought about that. Yeah, exactly. So right now, as I'm looking at it, it's the two main, like the founder, the CTO, and then you have pretty much just a few dev teams. That's it. Can't be more than a team of 10, 12 people at most.
Yeah, actually, 6. So that is something
6?
too
Wow.
that no, it's been a lot, dude. It's been a lot of work, man. It's been, and I do feel like that is probably why we haven't been doing as good on the socials as you would think and I would think. So I think that just has to do with us being so focused on the building. You know, we're not out here trying to get the collabs, paying for marketing, and that is where it lacked is our socials, because we didn't have any. I was taking care of the socials, you know. I was trying to do all the development and all the socials and everything. So yeah, now that we're I don't want to say on coast mode because we still got a lot of developing and building to do, but we are to the point where I think we can start expanding a little bit and really start like directing towards like the socials. And I have given my CTO Ben, he has been taking our whole entire social media, redoing everything. He's been doing a great job killing it. So that is where I think it would help benefit. So
well, I gotta say, for 6 people, you guys have done an absolutely amazing job so far, and kind of doing it in Kadena fashion, like the same way, like the guys from Kadena, they didn't do any promoting or anything like that for almost 2 years while they built built the protocol and built everything, you know. And that's what's important. Why even bother promoting yourself if you don't have anything to really promote?
Exactly. And then
so
and then usually by that
you guys built.
Yeah, I'm huge fans of Will and Stuart though. I always say this whenever I'm telling people about Kadena. I'm always like, JP Morgan chose 2 people to build, you know, their blockchain. And it's these 2 people out of the entire world. I was like, that just goes to show you that, you know, they're probably pretty smart, right? Like JP Morgan, they got a lot of money. So they would obviously select wisely. And then these guys have made a project themselves. So, and it just happens to be groundbreaking technology. So, I mean, invest if you want, not financial advice. But yeah, that's kind of what I tell people.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. I know I had a great talk. And like I said, don't be a stranger. Anything you guys need help with, feel free to reach out.
Cool, man. Thanks again.
All right. No problem. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the AMA today. Like I said, this will be posted on our SoundCloud. So if you haven't followed us, feel free to follow our SoundCloud account. All of our previous AMAs are always posted there so that after they're deleted after 30 days off of Twitter, we don't lose them. It's nice to have a place where they're kept forever. So feel free to check us out there, give us a follow so you don't miss out on any of these great conversations. Thanks again, KOR, for stopping by.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
That wraps up another amazing AMA. Thank you for listening. Here at KPN, we strive to bring an open platform for projects being built on Kadena to present themselves to the community. Please ensure to do your own research on each project before investing. Also, make sure to follow us on our social media, from Twitter to subscribing to our weekly newsletter. All the links can be found directly on our SoundCloud profile page. Thank you very much for listening and take care.